Test, 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 hey, test, hey. Test, test, hey. There we go. Okay.
Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Alexander getting a bye. We are having some really weird technical problems through our audio and video, so... So we are going to send Alexander down by himself. Gets a bye run for the top 32 here. Alexander is off, throwing his signature Manji initiation, huge flick into outside zone number 1. Smooth as ever. This man knows how to wheel a car. He misses inside clip just by a skosh into outside zone number 2. Little bit of wavering, trying to left foot brake all the way to the end of that zone. And into the final 2 zones of the track and across the line. Alexander, smooth as ever. All right, he goes into outside zone 2 on the replay as he finishes going through the last 2 zones. All right, and it's official. Alexander goes on to the top 16. All right, next we have Jay Rosa sending his bye run. Alright, and Jay Rosa is off for his spy run. Flicking into initiation. Into outside zone 1, filling that entire zone, showing us what he's capable of here. Alright, and Jay Rosa finishing strong for his bye run. A little bit of some practice for these guys, these top qualifiers. All right, we're gonna get through these buys as quickly as we can for you guys. We got Kobe Wells going for his buy run. All right, Kobe Wells is off. Huge initiation from Kobe Wells. Transitions a little bit early into the outside zone, but was able to push it all the way out there, filling the entire outside zone number 1, transitioning into the inside clip, and sliding on out to outside zone number 2, going on a really, really good line here. Kobe showing us why he's one of the more consistent drivers out here, doing a great job. Throwing a little style there at the end. All right. All right. We got an actual battle coming up. We got Mountain Man versus Tip of the Queue. All right, Mountain Man versus Tip of the Queue. Here we go. Mountain Man in the S chassis, Tip of the Queue, C6 Corvette. They initiate. Tip of the Queue has a very weird chase for that initiation. Really whips it back behind Mountain Man. Mountain Man on a good lead run here. Tip of the Queue doing everything he can to keep up, including going through the rally line. Mountain Man just needs to stay right on line, and he's got this half the battle nailed down. All right, let's take another look here at what happened there with Tip of the Queue. All right, drivers are switching it up. We got Tip of the Queue in the lead, Mountain Man in the chase. Let's see if Tip of the Queue can finish this this half of this run. Tip of the Queue hit a cone. We're gonna have to restart that one. All right, so drivers are going back. There was a false start with that, with tip of the queue hitting that cone. So these drivers are gonna re-go here. Tip of the queue leading Mountain Man. Tip of the queue, just not even initiating. That is a 0 for tip of the queue. He did not initiate early enough. That is, man, there's some nerves obviously affecting some of these drivers today. All right, judges deliberating. All right. All right, slide him left for Mountain Man, slide him right for tip of the queue. And Mountain Man moves on. All three judges unanimously. Mountain Man moves on. All right, up next. Looks like we're going to have another bye. This is one of our last byes. Looks like we have 2 more after this one. And as we wrangle up the next 2 drivers, I just want to say thanks for everyone coming out, sticking with us through the growing pains of this production here. We want to thank High Dimension, Temple Productions, Moxie Shreds, Code Slime Drifts, KW Visuals, in partnership with Bosan. This is the Concept Drift Series of Mayhem in the Midlands, top 32 battles. All right, we got Jaden up here ready to run his buy run. Jaden qualified 5th, I believe. And Jaden is off for his buy run. Jaden doing a Manji initiation, initiating a little bit late. Big angle, scrubbing lots of speed going into outside zone number 1. Good transition, maybe a little bit late into the touch and go, into outside zone number 2. And this is spot on horizontal qualifying, just an absolute train on rails, this man. All right, up next we got Zane versus Ryu. Zane does not look like he has made it to the line. Let's see if we can call out for Zane. If a driver does not show up, we give him a 90-second timer to try to fix whatever they can or show up if they are just not around the area or running around. So we're going to probably have to start a 90-second timer here, waiting for Zane.
Car problems? Click here to get a discount on your next repair service. We can give you an honest estimate and get you back on the road again. If you live around this area, you can take advantage of our certified technicians and state-of-the-art equipment today.
All right, so Zane did not make it. It looks like Ryu's just going to do a buy run. All right, here goes Zane in that beautiful S chassis. Modest run up for him. Initiates into the touch and go. Oh, really scrubs out. Misses almost the entirety of outside zone number one. Transitions wavering into the inside clip. Into that big right-hander and outer two. Wavering a whole lot. Oh, and barely holds on in these last two zones, and he goes off right before the end. Good thing this is just a bye. Ryu moves on. All right, we got a bye run with Bread. All right, I think we only got one more bye after this, so Bread initiating big angle into outside zone number 1. Dials it back a little bit, the second half of that zone, transitioning. Just on a banger line. This man is super consistent. And across the line is Bread. And then up next, we are going to have Sync coming up to the line leading Free Trial. And it looks like that concluded the first half of the top 32 battles. So we are moving through it as fast as we can for you guys, trying to get to the good battles, the stuff y'all want to see. Sync Silo versus Free Trial. We're trying to locate Free Trial. Here he comes, here he comes. All right, Sync Silo leading the first half of this battle against Free Trial. Let's see if this is the battle we've been waiting for. Throwing a huge Manji initiation is Sync Silo. Free Trial doing everything he can to stay on his door. Losing lots of angle. Free Trial, there's contact in the chase position. Sync Silo doing a really good job keeping his line even after some pretty major contact. And Sync Silo finishing strong. All right, let's see if we can see what happens here. All right, second half of this battle, we got Sync Silo going up against, or sorry, chasing Free Trial. Free Trial leading, throwing a really soft initiation, lots of speed. Is he going to be able to scrub it for outer 1? He does, and he's a really shallow in outer 1. It looks like Sync just straightened behind him. Free Trial pushing into that inner clip through the last 2 zones. And a little sloppy from both drivers, not bad. All right, we're just finishing up the replay here. All right, so slide him left for Sing Silo, slide him right for free trial. Paul saying Sing Silo. Heck West says Silo. And one more time from Brennan. So it looks like Sing Silo is going to move on. All right, and we have oh, and it looks like the sliders messed up there. That was supposed to go to free trial. Free trial actually moved on. Free trial moved on from that. There was a little bit. Sing Silo did not move on to the top 16. So we have Jason Cote coming through on his buy run. Really solid initiation here from Jason Cote. The Frenchman here himself. And Jason Cote showing us why he is a robot, finishing strong. All right, Nicholas and that murdered out S chassis coming in. Wonderful through outside zone 1, transitioning, quick transition into the inside clip, really deep into that inside clip. All the way in outside zone 2, comes off a little bit early. It's really hard to extend that outside zone all the way. And big angle through the last 2 zones. All right, and that finishes up that group of drivers. We're bringing in our final group of drivers for the top 32 here. So give us a couple minutes here to get people into the lobby, and we will be right back with the final set of battles for the top 32. All right, Josh Oxley going for his buy run. Let's see if the machine can do it again for us. All right, and Josh Oxley going into outside zone number 2, drops a little bit of a tire, really trying to see how aggressive he can push these zones. You can tell he's testing the track surface, testing the grip level of his tires. Man is really, really trying to push every zone, and you can see it there. He'll have to dial that back just a little bit during his top 16 battle. All right, up next we got Will H leading, swanging. All right, getting drivers lined up here. All right, Will H leading, swanging. Let's see if we can get a good battle coming in here with these two drivers. All right, lights are off. Drivers coming down the power alley here into this initiation. Scrubbing speed for outside zone number 1. Swang comes way inside. Doesn't make contact with the lead driver, but straightens out in the chase. Will H doing a good job in that lead position, trying to stay online even with that chase driver kind of being out of pocket behind him. Will H doing everything he can to hang on to it, and Swangin goes way off track. He gripped up and understeered right off track. All right, driver switching it up here. Swangin leading Will H. All right, drivers off. Screaming C6 in the lead. Leading Will H. Lazy initiation from Swangin, trying to push all the way outside. It gets a little shallow, doesn't quite have the speed to push it all the way outside. And outside zone 1 transitions past touch and go into inside clip number 1. Will H doing a great job in that chase position, trying to match his angle and speed. Really coming up on that inside the pocket there on Swangin. Swangin throwing down an all-right lead run. Enough for Will to follow him through the finish line. Yep. All right, and judges sliders up, slide him left for Will H, right for Swangin. Paul says Will. Hex says Will. Brennan says Will. All three unanimous say Will H should move on. Unfortunately, Swangin just could not hang on to that power of that Corvette. All right. Latham here for his bye. I feel like one of those personal trainers that just says, oh, it's just one more buy, and then it's another one, and another one. Here we go. Latham. All right, Latham is off for his buy run. We're going to get right in the top 16 here. Right into the real battles. Latham, big initiation. Hangs on to the angle, too, unlike we've seen from most contenders today. Really throwing down a spicy run, showing these guys that who they should be scared of in the top 16. Looking, going all the way outside for the entirety of outer zone number 2. This might be a 99-point quality run if this is qualifying. This man just threw down a heater of a run. That man is one to watch out for. If he can do that in the chase position, holy cow, this guy is going to be a force. All right, Brandon Shorten, last contender today, I believe, for the top 32. All right, here we go. The end of top 32. interesting in all the ways that we were not expecting. Brandon Shorten taking his last sight lap before major battles in the top 16. All right. 3 red, 1 green. Here we go. Brandon's off. One of our very own concept drivers right here. Brandon Shorten swinging it in. Into outside zone number 1. Really throwing down a good first outside zone. Transitions into that inside clip really deep. Right up against the grass for outside zone number 2. Going all the way around that big right-hand turn. Trying to push it inside clip number 2. And into the last zones. Another really good run. People are starting to really shake those nerves off and showing us what they're made of. That is going to end our top 32. We're going to get the drivers in for top 16. We're going to move right on into it. Give us about 3 or 4 minutes probably to get those drivers in here and everybody cycled out. And we'll continue into the top 16 of CNDS Mayhem in the Midlands. All right, welcome to the top 16 of CNDS Mayhem in the Midlands. We are going to kick it right off with Skelly versus Marcuzio. All right, here's our first battle of the top 16. Skelly leading, Marcuzio in chase. Skelly throwing a heater of a initiation all the way grass to grass, side to side, hits all of outside zone 1. Marcuzio doing a great job in the chase, trying to chasing Skelly here. Skelly all the way in outside zone number 2, filling the entirety of the zone. He kind of wavered a little bit on angle, but what a battle for the top 16 to start out. That is what CNDS is about. Alright, we're gonna switch it up. Marcuzio leading Skelly. This is what we get to see one of the top qualifiers do in a chase position here. Alright, and initiate. Marcuzio, kind of a lazy initiation there, going backwards. Oh, and off track. We're gonna have to see if there was contact there. Alright, looking at the replay, it doesn't look like there's any contact there. It looks like Marcuzio just got, his nerves got the best of him. So, slide him left for Skelly, right for Marcuzio. 1, 2, and 3 for Skelly. Marcuzio DQing in his lead. Skelly gets the easy win into the top 16. After that first run, though, I had a lot of faith in Marcuzio that he might be able to maybe pull one over there on Skelly, but unfortunately, the main stage just got the best of him. All right, Alexander is going to be leading J. Rosa. Both these drivers, I believe, are new to this series. I've not seen either of these drivers compete in a tandem battle before, so I'm super excited to watch what goes down during this battle. All right, drivers are off. Alexander, a powerhouse, going against J. Rosa, initiating, going it outside zone 1 really fast in that Corvette, hangs on, doesn't go off track, straightens out a little bit. J. Rosa doing a good job in the chase position, just trying to keep up, cuts the track a little bit there to gain proximity, but then gets out into the zone and right into the pocket of Alexander. Going to the last 2 zones, Alexander straightens just a little bit, gains a little bit of speed, and leaves J. Rosa in the dust. All right. They're going to switch it up here. Alexander is going to be chasing J. Rosa. All right. Drivers pull into the line. We get to see what Alexander does in a chase position here. See if he can stay in the pocket of J. Rosa. J. Rosa initiating, big initiation from both drivers. Alexander surging on him, a little bit shallow. Really surging on that lead driver of J. Rosa. Steps back a little bit for the transitions, and we're going to see him surge right here into the pocket of J. Rosa. Surging again, has way too much grip in that chase position. You can see that he is just struggling to stay slow enough to keep stay behind J. Rosa, and it costs him angle and consistency. And it looks like maybe Alexander straightened at the very end here. Let's rewatch this replay. Look at Alexander surging over and over. You can just see he's struggling to stay behind J. Rosa. He just wants to push straight through him. Lots of forward grip from that Corvette. J. Rosa just has a great lead. Really consistent. Let's see here if he straightens. I think J. Rosa might have straightened at the end there. We're going to go to the judges and see what they have to say. All right, it looks like they are going to have a decision here. Slide him right for Alexander, slide him right for J. Rosa. And all of them are going to go to J. Rosa. It looks like Alexander straightened, or at least was not at angle at the end there due to all the grip in that Corvette. So unfortunately, Alexander does not move on. Alexander is one of the best drivers out here, and you just saw that someone that might be kind of slower and consistent might not do good in the chase, but you still got to be able to chase them. And so J. Rosa moves on into our Great 8. Up next, we're going to get Kobe Wells and Mountain Man Joe. All right, Kobe Wells and Mountain Man Joe are at the line, ready to send it. Kobe Wells leading Mountain Man Joe. Oh, Kobe Wells has a huge initiation. Mountain Man Joe has a wild follow there. Kobe all the way in that outside zone. Mountain Man Joe struggling to keep up. Kobe Wells has a very, very fast car. It looks like there's a straight from Mountain Man Joe. Cut the track really bad. I think that is basically an incomplete chase. That was way offline. We don't necessarily have restricted areas on this track, but that is not where you want to be. So we will have to go back to the replay and see if there is a straight in there. I think Kobe has advantage here. If he can just stay in prox, he is moving on to the Great 8. All right, and here we're going to see the... Oh, it just passed that straighten. Here's a straighten from Mountain Man Joe, and I don't know if that's a full straight. That is a huge, huge, huge deduction. All right, drivers are pulling up. Looks like Kobe is warming up his tires a little bit for this second run. Mountain Man Joe's going to lead. S Chassis v S Chassis. And here we go. Mountain Man Joe's got to show us what he got here in this lead position. He's got thrown on a banger, and here he goes, screaming into outside zone 1 and over rotates. Oh, that is not what we want to see. Unfortunate, and here we go, Kobe finishing up his run. We like to see drivers try to finish the run even if they screw up, or at least drive to the finish. So, Kobe Wells looks like he is going to get a move on to the grade 8. Been pretty easy for a couple of these drivers. All right, sliding left for Kobe Wells, right for Mountain Man, and judges going to Kobe Wells. It is official. Kobe Wells moves on. Up next, we have Jaden leading Ryu. All right, I think judges are ready. Drivers are ready. And the light is off. Jaden in the lead, Ryu in tow. Jaden throwing a big Manji initiation, flicking really hard into that touch and go. Oh, and the chase car over rotates and spins in the chase. Look at Jaden just being calm, cool, and collected. This is what we like to see. This is what me and Mills love to call set it and forget it. They set that angle, foot to the floor, and the car basically just drives itself. Jaden powered through till the finish. Let's see what he can do in the chase position. Let's have these drivers switch it up here. All right, drivers just getting back through that access way, back to the beginning of the track. Ryu's got to throw down something special here in this lead position if he wants to throw Jaden offline enough to possibly even get it one more time. Ryu initiates. Good initiation into the outside zone. A little late to get into outside zone number 1. Way offline. Way inside. Jaden doing a great job in that chase position. Slowing down even here for Ryu. And at this point, I think the drivers need to just shut it down. That is way offline. It is getting sketchy out there. And a little bit of contact, and Ryu is off. All right, it's official. Jaden moves on. Ryu, unfortunately, gets knocked out in this top 16. Didn't quite have it in him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll come back, be better and better than ever. Moving on to the second half of this top 16 here. Moving quick. Get these other drivers in. All right, we're going to get right back into it here. Brett in the lead. Free trial in the chase. Brett taking off. Oh, Brad absolutely gapping him off the line. Bread with a lot of heat in outside zone 1. Oh, Free Trial is doing everything he can to keep up. Bread doing a great job in this lead position. Absolutely on rails on this run. Free Trial, cutting angle, cutting line, just trying to keep up with Bread. The speed of that 890 Super is just insane. And across the line is Bread and Free Trial. Drivers are lined back up at the start line. Free Trial in the lead, Bread in the chase. Let's see what they can do here. Free Trial's gonna have to throw down something crazy. Let's see what he can do. Throws down a lazy initiation, barely initiates into the touch and go, and off track. Free Trial goes off track. And as long as it's safe to pass like this, we do want to see drivers continuing their run like this. So, Brad flexing those muscle memory moves right there. And looks like Free Trial just didn't initiate early enough, gripped up, and went right off track at the beginning there. And judges have made it official. Brad moves on. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of easy decisions tonight for these judges. Up next, we got the man, Jason Cote, going against Nicholas. All right, sounds like judges are ready, drivers are ready. Lights are green, let's go. Frenchman Jason Cote leading Nicholas. Jason Cote throwing a really speedy initiation here, and it looks like, look at Nicholas right in the chase, having to cut a little bit of angle there just to make sure he didn't hit him. Now Jason is just pulling away from him, and Nicholas trying to surge, cutting a little bit of the track into the last two zones. Jason Cote finishing strong, and Nicholas right behind him. All right, that first zone was really good chase by Nicholas until he had to scrub angle and speed to try not to hit Jason Cote. And you can see he just tries to catch up the rest of the track. He really starts surging on him into outer two, and then unfortunately can't go any closer until he runs out of real estate at the end. All right, we got him switched around here. Nicholas going to be leading the Frenchman. All right, here we go. Nicholas going to show us what he can do in that lead position. Jason, we've seen Chase at a previous event, and this man knows how to drive. Let's see, initiating. Keeps his distance right off initiation, and then closes the gap. Transitions and loses a little bit of distance on Nicholas there. Nicholas throwing her lead right, but looks like he's going off, and Nicholas goes into the grass. And a clean overtake by Jason Cote. That is I didn't know that Nicholas could have caught that, but it is okay for Jason Cote to overtake like that if need be to stay online or just shut it down. But as long as no contact's made upon overtaking, fair game. All right, judges' scorecard is up. Jason Cote on the left, Nicholas on the right. Let's see what the judges have to say. And judges unanimously go for Jason Cote to move on to the grade 8. Up next, we're going to have Josh Oxley leading Will H. Both drivers ready and raring to go. Quick look at the bracket there. Josh Oxley in the lead in that RTR Mustang. He's got that thing dialed in better than I think any other car we've seen out here. Judges are ready. We're gonna send it here. Let's see if Josh Oxley can throw down a lead with the pressure of a screaming engine behind him. Here he goes, initiates into outside zone 1, transitions really slow, kind of gets caught up, uses all of that braking zone there. Transitions, and it looks like Will H is doing a great job in that chase position. Staying up there with him, up in the pocket, deep in the zones. This is a battle that we wanted to see. Josh Oxley throwing down a great lead run in these last few outer zones, and Will H just barely falling off there at the end transition. And you can see right here in the replay on outer zone 2, Will H surging right up to the door of Josh Oxley. That might be the closest door-to-door action we've seen into that inside clip number 2 all day. All right, drivers are back at the starting line. Josh Oxley gonna be chasing now. Will H in the lead. Here's the initiation into outside 1, transitioning. And Josh getting right up on the door, cutting the track just a little bit. Will H getting deep into inside clip number 1, transitions right into the grass of outer 2, and Josh Oxley right there in the pocket. Oh, goes up and doesn't even make contact right there on his back wheel. That is a battle right there. Outside zone 2 has been the zone we've been waiting to see people get doors on, and now we are finally seeing it. All right, and judges' scorecards are up. Judges have a decision. And Oxley moves on in that RTR Mustang. Up next, we got Latham leading Brandon Shorten. Brandon, in our last competition, did a really good job getting to, I think, the final 4, if I'm not mistaken, of some of the best drivers that we've seen out here. Let's see if he can show up today, or if he lets his nerves get the best of him. We're just wrangling the drivers up, getting into the starting line. All right, Latham is lined up. Brandon Shorten lined up. Just waiting for that tree to drop. Looks like one of the judges is talking to one of the competitors. We are just waiting. All right, there's already Latham leading Shorten. And the drivers are off, coming down the straight here. Big initiation from Latham. Brandon Shorten right in the chase, going up a little short, but Latham might be going off track. Almost straightened by Latham. Shorten completely straightens in the chase. I don't know if that would be the lead's fault, but Brandon definitely straightened. He might have got lost in the smoke. All right, and as you can see, that Brandon Shorten straightens kind of uncontested by the lead driver there. That seemed to be his own fault. So we're going to move into the second half of this battle, and we're going to see what Latham can do chasing Brandon Shorten. And here we go. Brandon Shorten in the lead. Latham chasing. Brandon Shorten a little late on that initiation. Latham a little shallow. We've seen that from a lot of drivers. And there he goes, pushing it back to the door of Brandon Shorten. They transition to the inside clip. Going all the way outside. Brandon Shorten getting the zone. And Latham getting right up into his door. Almost making contact, but not. Brandon Shorten goes through that inside clip with Latham right on his tail. And it looks like Latham almost straight into the end, but I think that spells doom for Shorten. right, judges have made a decision. Latham getting the win here. Brennan short and straight, and Latham did not zero out his chase. He had a good one. Shallow angle, but, you know, it's going to have to go to Latham on that one because Brandon just kind of boofed himself in his chase position. So we are going to rip into the Gray 8 here. Next drivers are going to come in. That it finishes off our top 16. We're just cooking right through this now. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. All right, we got the first battle for our grade 8. We got Skelly going up against Jade Rosa. Skelly initiating a little bit early, coming across. Jay Rosa in tow. Skelly all the way outside for putting the hammer down in outer zone 1, just slingshotting through that zone into inside clip number 1. Jay Rosa doing everything he can to keep up. And there he is, right in the pocket in outer zone number 2, surging a little bit, just trying to keep proximity. Skelly throwing a perfect lead run here for Jay Rosa to follow, and Jay Rosa did a good job keeping up, but didn't quite have the proximity at the end there. All right, they switched it around. We got Jay Rosa leading Skelly. All right, sounds like everybody's ready. Here we go. Jay Rosa in the lead in that BMW. Skelly in that S15. Skelly initiating, or excuse me, Jay Rosa initiating with Skelly right on his door, all the way through outside 1. Transitions to outside, the outside touch and go and inside clip. Skelly right on his door, transitioning on his bumper. Skelly is locked onto the door of Jay Rosa here. Bumps it a little bit. Doesn't hit him offline though. A little bit of a deduction from Skelly in that chase for that contact, but my goodness, that was a crazy chase. Man, I almost can't even talk through this replay because that run from Skelly was insane. All right, judges' scorecard is up. Skelly on the left, Jay Rose on the right. And 1, 2, 3. Skelly is going to move on. Lead for lead, they were almost identical, and Skelly just pushed through into the final 4 with that chase. Up next, we're going to have Kobe Wells leading Jaden. All right, looks like the drivers are to the line and ready. All right, Kobe Wells going against EDS Jaden. Kobe through the chicane, initiating into outside zone number 1. Kobe as deep as you can get without touching the grass. Jaden right on his door, transitioning. These cars look identical. It's like a shadow of each other. There's a little bit of a bobble from Jaden into the outside zone number 2. Jaden's really shallow and has a lot of grip in that car. It looks like he's trying to push Kobe off the track and over the line. All right, they're gonna switch it up here. We got Jaden leading Kobe Wells. All right, big initiation from Jaden. All right, looks like there was a little bit of contact at the beginning there. I think there's a false start. All right, so as per the rules, if you make contact before initiation, it is a false start. Usually it's lower speed, so drivers are going to go back to the beginning, start that over. Fortunately, because Jaden got 2 tires off on initiation, probably due to the bumping, so. All right, drivers are gonna bring it on around back. All right, so there might have been a little bit of connection issue with the drivers. Thank God it was before initiation because they get to restart this. Otherwise, it would have been a DQ for who was at fault. So here they go. EDF Jaden leading Kobe Wells. Jaden initiating, really hard initiation. Big angle from Jaden to Kobe, wavering behind him, but gets right in his pocket, right at the end of outside zone number 1. Transitioning into inside clip and to the big outside zone number 2. Jaden leaving Kobe in the smoke. Kobe has to lose a little bit of angle to keep up and into the last 2 zones. A little bit of contact again from the chase driver, but very interesting battle from both of these drivers. All right, it looks like 2 of the judges call for one more time, and the 3rd goes for Jaden, so it's going to be a OMT. All right, so these drivers are going to be able to go back to the pits, get some fresh tires, and come out for their one more time battle. Until the final 4, there is only one more time, so this is going to be it for the drivers. Judges will have to make a decision after this based off all of their lines. All right, here we go. Drivers are at the line and ready. Kobe starting over, leading Jaden. Here comes initiation and swinging it out left to outside zone number 1. Jaden right on the door of Kobe. A crazy initiation from both drivers here. Transitioning into the inside clip number 1. Jaden right on the door of Kobe Wells here, really pushing hard on this run. He is in his passenger's well, basically in his driver's seat. Door to door, all the way through to the outside final zones. Jaden throwing down a heater of a chase run. Looking at that replay, they are just locked door to door. Jaden does a great job pushing into outside zone number 2, transitioning almost on the bumper of Kobe Wells. Right on the door of Kobe Wells, all the way through inside clip number 2 and into the final 2 touch and goes. All right, here we go. Jaden leading Kobe Wells. It's going to be really hard to follow what they just did here. Let's see how they do. Jaden, a little bit of a Manji, little Scando flick into the initiation, into outside zone number 1. Almost identical run from both these drivers, swapping positions. Transitioning into the inside clip. It looks like I'm watching a replay. Transitioning on the bumper is Kobe Wells on Jaden. Maybe a little bit of contact. Kobe wavering a little bit in the chase position. And into the last 2 zones. This is going to be a tough decision. That was an insane run. All right, and here we go. Judges, slide him left for Kobe, right for Jaden. And do they have a decision here? 1 for Kobe Wells. 1 for Jaden. And we got Jaden. EDF Jaden moves on. All right, we got Brad leading Jason Cote, the Frenchman. All right, here we go. Judges are ready. Drivers ready. 3 reds, green light, and here we go. Brad leading Mr. Frenchie. Big initiation from Brad. Jason Cote. Really close transition on initiation there. Pushing up against his door there at the end of outside zone number 1. Transitioning right on the bumper into outside zone number 2. Brad trying his best to pull away in outside zone number 2, and Jason just chasing him down here. And transitions. Oh, it's close. We've seen a little bit of contact across the line. As you can see here in the replay, you can see that Jason had to cut line to keep up with Brett here. We know Brett is a really fast chassis with that A90, and you can see that Jason has to do everything to just gain a little bit of proximity, and he just can't quite keep up. All right, flipping him around. Jason Cote leading Red. All right, drivers ready. Here we go. Drivers are off. Jason in the lead. Brad chasing. Big entry from both drivers here. Brad right on his door, matching everything that Jason is doing in the lead. Brad a little bit shallow there, trying to gain proximity. And here we go into outside zone number 2. Brad surging really hard on Jason. Jason getting all of outside zone number 2. Brad doesn't quite have the angle that Jason does. And Brad almost straight across the line. Judges are just watching the replays and trying to make a decision. All right, and the judges have come to a decision. Paul goes right for Brad, and it looks like one more time from the other two judges. So these guys are going to go at it again. Let's see if they can't make it a little more decisive here. We can do it after. Oh. All right, and coming up is these two drivers, Brad leading and Jason. All right, and we're going to send them right away. Here we go. Brad leading Jason for the second time here. Brad initiating big angle into that touch and go. Even bigger angle into outside one, and Jason way offline. Almost has to straighten to get back online. Brad doing a good job being just consistent as he ever has been. Jason has put himself at a major deficit here, and here he is just trying to push as hard as he can, make up for what he did at the beginning of this track. And across the line is Brad and Jason. Unfortunately, I think Brad's going at this with a huge advantage, so Jason's really going to have to throw something down. We know he's a good driver for it, but he is going to have to throw something insane to clean up that first outside zone. All right. Bread in blue chasing Jason Cote. All right, Jason initiating here into this touch and go. Not as much angle as Brett had, but firing into outside zone number 1. Brett right on his front wheel, and it looks like they had some wheel-to-wheel contact there. Brett right on his door, basically his blue shadow here. Really pushing hard, almost straightening. It looks like Brett almost completely straightened. And they're across the line and some contact after the line. We're going to have to look at this replay here and see if Brett actually straightened. Here they go into outside zone number 1. Brett doing a great job in that chase position. A little bit of contact, maybe wheel to wheel, or just some odd movement there from both the drivers. But right here, let's see. Does Brett straighten? Man, he almost has to reinitiate into that. I think he held on to it, though. But unfortunately, that is a huge misstep. All right, judges, I've made a decision, and here we go. All three going for bread. Jason DQing in his chase, unfortunately. All right, up next. Starting right off, we got Josh Oxley leading Latham. Two powerhouses here. I'm itching to see this kind of battle here. Here we go. Godzilla versus King Kong right here. Josh Oxley initiating. Smooth as ever into the outside zone number 1, and some contact from Latham. We're going to have to look into that to see if there's any big decel. All right, they're going to switch it up here. We got Latham leading Josh Oxley. Latham in that S chassis. Josh in that RTR Mustang. Latham throwing big angle into that touch and go. Big angle to ladder 1. Was able to hold on to it. Josh trying to keep up. Couldn't quite match the angle there. Josh right on the door. Almost a little bit of contact on transition there. Latham doing a really good lead all the way into outside zone number 2. Pushing forward into the inner clip. And Josh a little bit off, unfortunately for Latham in that chase position. I think that's going to go to Josh Oxley by default. All right, so here's the judges. Slide him left for Josh, right for Latham. 1 for Josh Oxley, 1 OMT, and then another for Josh Oxley. Josh Oxley moves on into our final 4. Skelly, Jaden, Oxley, and Jason Cote. How could I forget the Frenchman? Going into the final 4. All right, we're rolling right into the final 4. Now, all bets are off. There can be as many one more times as these drivers need. These battles are about to be the best we've seen all day. All right, here we go. Skelly going against Jaden. S15 on S15. What's a superior chassis today? Well, I'd say S15 because most people in this final 4 are running them. Here we go. Skelly throwing down a heater into outside zone number 1. There's a little bit of contact on transition from Jaden into chase position. Transitioning on the bumper there, right into outside zone number 2. Right on that back tire, front bumper against his door in the pocket. Pushing inside into inside clip number 2 and through the final 2 zones right at the door of Skelly. All right, here we go. Switching them out. EDF Jaden going to lead Skelly through this track. Will it be for the last time today? Jaden initiating Skelly in tow right there on his door on initiation. Really shallow angle getting onto Jaden's door. Skelly transitioning, giving a little bit too much room there on transition into outside zone number 2, surging right onto the door of Jaden. Jaden pushing into the inside clip number 2, out to the final 2 zones and across the line. All right, going into one more time for Skelly and Jaden. All right, here we go. Skelly leading Jaden. All right, here we go. Skelly initiating in front of Jaden. Big angle for both drivers. Jaden right on the door, surging really hard in outside zone number 1. Skelly all the way outside, filling that entire zone. Getting deep in inside clip number 1. And Jaden jumping right into the door of Skelly, matching his angle perfectly. And across the line, door to door, Jaden putting down a hell of a chase run, and Skelly doing, as always, a great. All right, drivers are back at the start line. Jaden's going to show what he can do in this lead position. Will this be the final time for these two drivers? Jaden initiating across Skelly. Skelly initiating right behind Jaden. Transitioning to outside zone number 1. Skelly putting the pressure on Jaden. Calling him, knocking on his doors, telling him, hey, I'm still here. Transitioning on his bumper. No contact this time. Skelly falling back a little bit. Transition timing was a little bit off. And a little closer at the end to Jaden. Wow, these drivers are pushing. All right, so sliding right for Jaden, left for Skelly. Looks like Paul and Heck waiting for Jaden. Brennan one more time, and Jaden moves on. All right, to round out our final 4, this is going to be Brett against Josh Oxley. Another set of crazy drivers here. Brett battled it out for the final 4 in our last comp. All right, waiting for the lights, waiting for the judges. Sounds like everyone's ready. Here we go. Brett in that A90 going against Oxley and that RTR both run it down. Oxley matching angle, matching. Ooh, a little shallow in outside zone number 1 against Bread here. Josh staying on the door, transitioning on the bumper of Bread, staying right there with him. Both these drivers are smooth as can be. There's a huge surge there from Josh Oxley, just putting the pressure on Bread, putting that engine right up against his ear, and they go across the line with Josh right on the door of Bread. Bread threw down a hell of a lead for Josh to follow. Josh got a weird initiation there behind Bread, but then backed it in right up to his door in the pocket where we want to see. Little bit of a stutter there from Josh, but then right up on the door in outside zone number 2 right at the end through the inside clip, and then give him a little bit of room to transition and right back on his door at the end. All right, drivers switching around. Josh is going to lead. That big RTR is hard to follow. I know this from experience. All right, Josh Oxley through the chicane. Initiating in front of Bread here. Bread transitioning behind him. Josh going in outside zone number 1. Bread right on his door. Got on the power a little bit late, but trying to get back on it to get on the door of Josh Oxley. Transitioning a little bit late into inside clip number 1 into outside zone number 2. Bread trying to surge, cutting the track a little bit, get riding off right on that back fender of Josh Oxley. Bread actually looks like he's struggling for the first time ever out here at this competition. All right, judges, card is up. Ball goes to Bread. And heck goes to Josh. And one more time from these drivers, we get to see. All righty. Looks like there was just enough deductions from both drivers in both positions to determine that they want to see it one more time. So I would love to see these drivers. These drivers are so entertaining to watch. I cannot wait to see this happen again because there's definitely a few hiccups from these guys, but it takes a keen eye to see all the intricacies of what's going on here, and these judges just have it locked down. All right, and Josh warming up the tires a little bit. Doing the old Chelsea Denofa stand at the back tire of his competitor. Let's see if he gets a jump on this light to be right up on the door here of Bread. Jumps it a little bit. That's what we want to see. Josh in the chase. Bread leading. Initiating in front of Josh Oxley here. Josh transitioning right behind him. Bread into outside zone number 1, a little shallow, only got one tire into it. Josh right behind him on his bumper, transitioning into outside zone number 2, surging. Doesn't quite get the proximity he wants, and there he goes again, surging right at the end of outside zone number 2. Brad coming across inside clip number 1, doing a great job, and Josh transitions a little late behind him into outside zone number 2. Or, sorry, the final outside zone. All right, here we go. Switching up the drivers. We're going to have Josh Oxley leading in that big ol' American Ford Mustang RTR against Josh Oxley in that 890 Supra. Josh Oxley initiating in front of Brad. They transition into outside zone number 1. Josh Oxley getting all the way outside. Brad a little bit shallow. That whole entire zone trying to gain proximity. Josh transitioning to the touch and go and inside clip, deep in the inside clip number 1, transitioning all the way to the grass and outside 2. Brad cutting the entire track, trying to keep up into the final 2 zones, and Brad just cannot keep up. Josh finishing strong with Brad just hanging on. All right, judge's card is up. Left for Brad, right for Josh Oxley. Oh, goes Josh. Heck goes Josh. And Josh Oxley moves on. All right, so now we are going to move on to our 3rd place battle. We are going on to Skelly versus Bread. Skelly, number 1 qualifier versus Bread, who is our 2nd place qualifier. And then our finals have our 5th place qualifier and our 3rd place qualifier. Qualifying battles typically don't determine the finals, but these drivers are so consistent that they just have fought through thick and thin. All right, so Skelly's going to be leading Brad here. Drivers are ready. Lined up at the line. Brad a little bit staggered in the back. Let's see if he gets a jump on him. There he goes. Brad, a little bit of a jump, making sure the tires are spinning. Doesn't get a lot of wheel speed. Skelly in the lead. Initiating a little bit early across into that outside touch and go. Transitioning. Brad right on his door all the way in outside zone. Number 1 is Skelly. Skelly transitioning to the touch and go. Brad right on his door. Not giving him any room. Brad has a lot to prove here. Transitioning right on his door. Right against his bumper, excuse me. And Brad, again, getting right up in that front wheel. You want to see him in the pocket, but still right in the proximity area that we want to see him. Brad across the line at the door of Skelly. Skelly threw down a hell of a lead for Brad to chase. As you can see, Brett just transitions right there before outside zone number 2 on the bumper, but then surges way too far forward up on the front wheel. But that's how he gets proximity. And unfortunately, if you just don't have the grip, you do have to cut a little bit of the track, and you see a little bit there from Brett every time. So now we're moving on into the second half of this battle. Brett is going to be leading Skelly. Let's see what Skelly can do in a chase against Brett. Brett through the chicane, powering down. Brad crossing in front of Skelly, initiating into outside zone number 1. Skelly doing pushing proximity through the second half of outside zone number 1. Transitioning on the bumper again, just like Brad. Right up on that front wheel, it pushes it back into the pocket. Brad drops a little bit of a tire there. Skelly maintains proximity. Might have been a little bit of contact due to the loss of grip, and Skelly across the line on the door of Brad. Let's see where Brett drops the tire here. They transition in the inner clip and outside zone number 2. And there's a little bit of a tire drop. But maintains grip through the rest of the course, which is impressive because this, if you get off that gravel into the grass, it's game over. It might as well be ice. All right, judges, card is up. Skelly left, Brett right, Paul, Heck, and Brennan all towards Skelly. Skelly gets third place. Third place goes to Skelly. All right, so for our finals today, we have Jaden versus Josh Oxley. All right, it seems like staff is ready. Drivers are ready. Josh Oxley in the RTR Mustang. We just gotta swap these drivers here. A little bit of miscommunication. Jaden should be leading Josh Oxley here. All right, will this be the final lead for Jaden and the final chase for Josh Oxley? All right, Jaden in the lead, Josh in the chase. Jaden throwing lots of angles. Josh in the chase, almost screwing up and going off track. Surging up against James Door at the end of outside zone number 1. That's a common theme we see here tonight. Josh doing a great job leading it through inside clip number 1. Jaden. Josh doing a great job in the chase. Bumping his door there, coming into inside clip number 1, transitions right on the bumper and outside into through the line. Alright, switching it up, we have Josh Oxley leading Jaden. Alright, will this be the last half of a battle that we see tonight? We're about to find out. Josh Oxley leading Jaden. Josh initiating through that mantra initiation into outside zone number 1. Jaden right on his door. Josh transitioning to the touch and go into inside zone number 1. Jaden on his door, transitioning right there on the door to Josh Oxley into outside zone number 2. Jaden almost has to straighten to keep up. Josh Oxley coming into inside equipment number 2 into the final zone. It's a little bit shallow. And Jaden does everything he can to keep up across the line. Alright, looks like judges' card is up. Judges have decision left for Jaden, right for Josh Oxley. Paul Mox goes left for Jaden. OMT from Heck. And EDF Jaden gets the win. Jaden, winner of our grand prize. Winner takes all CNDS Mayhem in the Midlands, presented to you by High Dimensions, Coastline Drift, Temple Productions, Moxie Shreds, KW Visuals, in partnership with Vosan. What an amazing, amazing battle, amazing day of drifting from these guys. Jaden wins CNDS Mayhem in the Midlands. It is the second event that we have held here, and I think there's many more to come. A series is going to take place, and look at these competitors just locked in. What an amazing day of drifting. I wouldn't have spent it any better myself. Thank everybody for coming out here. For anyone new, the Concept Drift Series is an Assetto Corsa competition-based server. We specialize in professional, organized fun, and intense virtual drifting battles. If you want to join our server or just find out more information, I'll just throw it here in the chat, !Discord. Come join us if you think you can compete or even just want to have fun or compete in your first comp, because it's open to basically anybody on a simulation rig. So thank you everybody for coming out. Appreciate it. Congrats to our final 3, and a special congrats here to Jaden for taking home the win.
Car problems? Click here to get a discount on your next repair service. We can give you an honest estimate and get you back on the road again. If you live around this area, you can take advantage of our certified technicians and state-of-the-art equipment today.